Lovelies, welcome back to your favorite channel. If you're new here, hey, I'm Azay, and today I'm giving you the rundown on how I installed my Bantu knots to ensure maximum growth and length retention, all while showing you how I take them down to get the most definition. I'm also throwing in this crazy story time about how we survived a blackout in the jungles of Mexico. Yeah, you're going to want to grab your popcorn for that. So if you like what you're hearing and you like what you're seeing, make sure you leave a like, comment a pink heart, and smash that bell notification so you never miss a post. And without further ado, let's hop right into this video. I did not get a chance to film me putting these in, so listen closely so you can know how to get these fabulous results. I've also uploaded this transcript to justforblackgirls.com as a blog post so you can have the written instructions. The link is in the comments and description. I started by sectioning my hair. I already had these cornrows in from another style, so the front half of my hair was already sectioned off. I then split the back section of my hair into 4 large parts. Starting with the first of the 4 parts, I split that into 3 smaller parts so I can have 3 Bantu knots per section. Depending on how large my section is, I add or take away a Bantu knot so my curls can be as even as possible. I said earlier I split my hair into 4 large parts, so with me doing 3 smaller parts, 1 for each Bantu knot, I'll have 3 Bantu knots per section, meaning I'll have about 12 Bantu knots in total. With one of the small parts in my hand, I detangle it with aloe and warm water. Here, you can choose to sub in your favorite detangling product like conditioner with a lot of slip or even flaxseed gel, whatever floats your boat. With my hair detangled and damp, now I need my lovelies to brace yourselves because this is not like me, but your girl had to do what your girl had to do. Someone gifted me a bottle of Lotta Body after their trip to the US, and you know there's not a lot of options down here for our hair. Plus, we had a show to do, and I wanted my curls popping, okay? So on top of each of my damp and detangle parts, I applied the Lotta Body foam generously, combing it through with my fingers from root to tip. I know I used enough foam when it felt like my part was really saturated with the product. I also saw that the product had coconut oil and I believe like shea butter or some kind of other sealant in it. So that meant I didn't have to use olive oil. And therefore, I wanted to use more of the product so I can get as much moisture into my hair as possible. Once I was done installing these Bantu knots, the bottle was half gone, child. Once I felt like the product was all up and through the section, I braid my root. As if I'm doing a box braid, that is what I do to my roots to make sure my Bantu knots are as defined as possible. Because one thing that can ruin a Bantu knot out, a braid out, a twist out is puffy roots and undefined ends, which I'm going to get to a little later. But to make sure that my Bantu knot out is defined all the way through is I braid my roots I braid my root. Just do it. It doesn't have to be halfway. I literally do probably like an inch or 2 or an inch and a half of braiding, and then I 2-strand twist all the way down. Once complete, I then install my Bantu knot in the same direction that I did my 2-strand twist in. If your 2-strand twist is unraveling as you put in your Bantu knot, you're twisting in the wrong direction. Your 2-strand twist should still be intact as you install your Bantu knot, okay? It's as simple as that. If you start twisting your Bantu knot and your twist starts to unravel, just go in the other direction. Now, speaking of how to get the most out of your Bantu knot out, I'm going to go over a few tips that allows me to have a successful Bantu knot out every single time. 1. Your scalp should not feel inflamed and in pain when you are wrapping up your Bantu knot. In fact, it shouldn't feel tight at your scalp at all. If it does, you are literally balding yourself. And if you're not balding yourself, you're putting yourself at risk of ripping your hair out at the root and balding yourself. My tip for this is just be mindful when you are twisting your knots. Think of wrapping the hair around itself. Don't think of making it as tight as possible. Tightness does not equal curliness or effectiveness. It'll just leave you with a bald spot, child. 2. Tuck those ends. I can't stand undefined ends in a bantu knot out, braid out, twist out, or any other kind of out. At the end of your bantu knot, make sure you wrap until the ends are all the way tucked in. This is what is going to allow your bantu knot to last you a week, sometimes a week and a half, by taking these steps of making sure your hair is defined from the root all the way down to the ends. Don't get lazy and leave those ends out at the end of your bantu knot, because you know what's going to happen? If you leave it out, the ends are going to be puffy, and when the ends are puffy, it's going to unravel the whole twist. And then you're going to be sitting there upset because you took all of this time installing these bantu knot outs just for it to not even last you the week. Look at that. Do you see that? Do you see how my hair is curled all the way to the bottom? That's because I wrapped all the way until the very last strand was tucked in. Tuck your hair and then thank me later. And my third tip is, if your section is too thick, split the bantu knot into two. Consistency is the key to a perfect bantu knot out. You don't want one part of your hair with looser curls and the other side of your hair much tighter because you got tired and started doing bigger parts. The bigger the parts, the looser the curls when it comes to a bantu knot out. So pick a size and stick to it. If it's too thick, just split it up. And if it's too skinny, no worries. You can definitely get away with it. Bonus, I only had 3, but as I was recording, these 2 bonus tips came to mind. This sounds like a no-brainer, but you guys, a key to an amazing bantu knot is giving it the time to dry. Your hair has to take the time to take the shape that you just put it in and really get cemented in that shape. So if you install your bantu knots the night before and then the next morning you try to take it out, that may not be enough time. Anytime I do a braid out, twist out, bantu knot out, flat, whatever I'm doing, I give it at least a full 48 hours before I take it out. And that's not even just because of how dense my hair is. I've been doing that even when my hair was much shorter. You have to give your hair the time to take shape. I'm like, trust me. It's not going to make your hair fuzzy. It's not going to make it undefined. It's not going to make it less gorgeous. I left these bantu knots in for a week. Okay? And my last tip for an amazing bantu knot out is to make sure you moisturize your hair really, 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 really well. I can't even begin to tell you how surprised I am about how well that Lotta Body foam moisturized my hair, because you see it. My hair is shiny. It has a beautiful sheen to it. It's soft. It really blew my mind because, as you guys know, I am not a product girly. I stopped using store-bought products a long time ago because I felt like it was compromising the health and wellness of my hair, and I also saw it compromising the health and wellness of other Black women in my community, both in person and online. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take a step back from these products, make my own, and that's what I've been sharing with you guys, on this channel. But being down here in Mexico has really put me at disadvantage in terms of what I have access to. So when my friend offered to bring me back a bottle because she was buying herself a bottle, I wasn't going to be like, no, girl, I need you to buy me something else. I'm like, sure, I'll try it. And I was blown away, all right? Like, truly, honestly, blown away. So I'm saying all that to say, make sure you moisturize your hair really, really, really well. Before I ever use the Lotta Body thing, I will always use just water, oil, and conditioner. Those 3 has always left my hair extremely, extremely moisturized. So you can stick with that, or you can also use your own products. But I'm not talking about something that's going to hold the shape. I'm talking about something that is going to moisturize your hair. So leave the Eco Styler out. I'm not talking about Eco Styler. I'm not talking about Boho or anything like that. I'm talking about a leave-in conditioner or a moisturizing gel, something to give your hair moisture, because that is what's going to keep your hair healthy. It's going to keep your hair growing. It's going to keep your hair fed while you are enjoying the style and installing it. So those are my tips for the perfect bantu knot out. As I said earlier, I left these things in for a week. And with all of these steps in mind, you're going to repeat this process until all of your Bantu knots have been installed, okay? Once you are ready to take them out, at the beginning of this video, you saw I had some olive oil with me. Just make sure you put some olive oil on your hands to make sure you're not stripping your hair of any of the moisture. And as I've just demonstrated with this Bantu knot I'm unraveling here, when you are going to unravel your Bantu knots, you want to unravel them from the ends going up, not the root down. And what I mean by that is your hair is going to be so curly and so coily that you're going to want to go right to the middle of the two-strand twist and just pull it apart. But when you do that, you risk ruining the definition of your ends. And when you do that, that is going to lead you to having a puffy, undefined Bantu knot out and pretty much undo all of your work. So make sure that when you are unraveling your Bantu knots, you unravel it starting from your ends to make sure your ends remain as defined as possible. And now it's time for the tea. But before we even get into that, lovelies, if you are ready to finally invest in yourself and your self-care, grab the Growth Training 101 guide, because it is a complete step-by-step book on how I grew my hair to my hips and unlocked 1 inch plus of hair growth in a month with my nutrient-rich recipes and routines. I got y'all. I have never lied to y'all, and y'all have seen that and told me that in the customer testimonies. Customers have wrote in that they have achieved waist-length hair, have cried happy tears because of how thick and healthy their hair has gotten. People have told us that our recipes helped them grow hair when doctors told them they couldn't. And we even included recipes for those of you out there who struggle with hormone-related hair loss and thinning. Postpartum, menopause, perimenopause. We didn't leave anyone out, and there is truly something in there for everyone. I even included recipes that help my clients that I were working with one-on-one. So for those of you who didn't get a chance to book a consultation, this is your chance to receive that help and to receive the results that you are looking for. So head to justforblackgirls.com/shop and shop our growth training guide. This is really an amazing resource for those of you who have been searching all over the internet, watching all of the videos, and still haven't gotten to where you want to be. These recipes have been proven to be effective, not just in my journey, but in Black women's journey all around the United States and the world. And we want you to have a piece of that. We want you to know that this is what you have been looking for. So head to justforblackgirls.com/shop and invest in yourself and treat yourself to something that's finally going to allow you to achieve your hair goals. Now for the tea. Telling you right now to strap in, lovelies, because this story is hot. It's summertime in the tropics of Mexico. The sun is blazing and the air is thick with wetness. Just standing outside for a few minutes will leave your clothes soaked through from the humidity in the air. Sunset has come and gone, and you can hear the crickets chirping and the bats awakening and flittering through the branches of the jungle trees right outside of our window. Sierra, Mommy, and I are in our Airbnb, turning down for the evening. The TV is running Netflix movie trailers. The air conditioners are thrumming on full blast, and we're just about ready to have dinner. Except we'd only arrived in Mexico a few weeks earlier, and we've been itching to make use of the amenities the Airbnb has to offer. But it had been raining non-stop, except for tonight. So Sierra decided to leave for an evening stroll, choosing to stop in the pool area locked behind a metal gate that can only be opened with an electric key fob. I'm sitting in the living room watching TV, eating dinner, when suddenly the lights go out. The air conditioner stops humming, the TV is blacked out, and it's so silent you can hear a pin drop. I instinctively open the front door to see if it's just us. I'll know if it's just us by the street lamps. If the street lamps are on, that means it is just us. But they aren't. Hundreds of people, one by one, open their front doors, the flashlights of their cameras flickering on in the pitch black darkness of the night to also see if the lights just went out in their house. My mom launches out of her bedroom, her voice shouting in the darkness, "Where's Sierra? Is Sierra in here?" Oh shit. Sierra is in the pool area, locked behind the gate. What the hell? It is 8 o'clock at night. The property managers have already left. Who the hell? How the hell is she going to get out of there? My mom is already out the door in her sneakers and the cane she walks with to get to Sierra. As she walks down the corridor with her phone flashlight in hand, she turns and says, "Call that landlord and tell him he needs to get somebody to get Sierra." I don't even bother to tell her I might not be able to call him because without the internet, my phone service is agonizingly slow and hardly works. But God knew I didn't need those problems. He put me through to him in the first call. But his English isn't good, and neither is my Spanish. So I hang up and resort to texting him instead. I try to be as polite as possible, and I do. My time in school has allowed me to turn, "Why your ass ain't tell us the lights can go out whenever they want to? Get your ass over here, and when you come, bring my money," into, "Hi, the power is out in the Pravada, and I need assistance because Sierra is locked behind the gate." Even with my politeness, he doesn't get it. He sends me screenshots of the Facebook posts the property posted earlier saying that the power will be out. Why would I give a damn about what they said? Especially, reading the screenshots, they said the power will be out between 5:30 and 7:30, but it's 8 going on 9 o'clock. He tightens up though, and tells me he'll get in contact with someone to see if she can exit another way. Meanwhile, in the darkness 2 stories below me, Mommy has gone barefoot. She's removed her sneakers and given them to Sierra. "Climb over the gate and jump on my shoulders. Jump down right here," pointing to her collarbones. And as serious as a heart attack. She may as well have asked God to drop a boulder on her head. And Sierra knew that, and despite Ma's demands, declined to jump down on her shoulders. Now it's been an hour. Sierra is still locked in the pool area, and it's so black you can't see your hand in front of your face. And a crowd has started to form to see why this little black woman is yelling to this other black woman in a language they can't understand. And still no sign of the power coming on anytime soon. The landlord must have known I was 3 seconds from tweaking because he pulls up to assist. They spot a ladder tucked neatly in the trees of the jungle, and Sierra grabs it. But it's a padlock on it. Who puts a lock on a ladder? But what other option does she have? Let's just pray that this thing doesn't slip. She goes for it, getting closer and closer to the top of the gate and jumping over so she can finally get out of there. But wait, the people have started yelling. Are they cheering her on? No, this doesn't sound too good, and she stops. And good for it. The Mexican people who've gathered to witness the spectacle are trying to tell her something before she jumps over. One of them translates, "It's the electricity box. Be careful not to damage it or you could die." Nice. The situation is trying to go from bad to worse. But by the grace of God, she manages to get up the ladder, over the gate, land safely on the box, and get back into the house, with the lights, of course, turning on as soon as she steps foot inside. Ciao. When I tell y'all that gave us a reality check on where we were real quick. After that, my vow to never stay anywhere reliant on technology to get in and out ever again. Because did I mention the door to the house was electrically operated too? What if the power never came back on? Were we to sleep with the door to our house being wide open? Y'all tell me what y'all would have done in this situation. This happened when we first got to Mexico, and I can't lie, I was shook. But a year later, we've had plenty more blackouts and know exactly what to do in the case of them. And this is the end of our story time, lovelies. Y'all let me know what y'all think. In hindsight, I can say it definitely taught us a lesson about doing more research whenever moving to a new place, because had we known Mexico experienced blackouts this frequently, we definitely would have been more prepared. But you live and you learn, and I'm just grateful we got over it and we're on the other side of it. Thank you so much, lovelies, for tuning in. If you made it this far, drop 2 pink hearts so that I know you're a real one. God bless you all, and I'll see you all in the next one, lovelies. Bye. Mwah.